Hello dear friends, Eastwind is in touch. Today we will talk about the latest Russian technologies for processing and transporting natural gas. So, Russia is making a revolution in energy. The decline of the era of gas pipelines, unique floating factories, industrial Russian 3D printers. They print parts from stainless steel and titanium alloy for reactors and more. In the Russian north, in this harsh icy desert where a powerful cold wind knocks down, testing the strength of everyone who comes here, among the permafrost, stands the largest Arctic plant Yamal LNG. It is easily recognized by its gigantic scale and strategic significance. Unique tanks for storing liquefied natural gas, which look very similar to tin cans, today, along the Northern Sea Route, the shortest route connecting Europe and Asia, which is 40% faster than through the Suez Canal. Blue fuel is delivered to places where gas pipelines cannot reach. By the way, we'll talk about this a little later, and what Russian scientists came up with and why the pipes that deliver gas to the consumer may remain a thing of the past. But first things first, it is worth noting that the main importers on the foreign market have always been the countries of the Asia-Pacific region. But despite all its loud statements about abandoning Russian gas, Europe is actively buying liquefied gas from Russia. But due to the events taking place today, a truly serious project has remained in the shadows, which is being implemented in the Russian northern village of Belokamenka, where history is now being made. There is also an innovation site, Novotech, Center for the Construction of Large-Scale Offshore Structures. It was there that the giant plant began building floating factories. Would you say that this sounds somehow extra large scale? Yes, but this is a fact and reality. Because there is no other country on our planet as huge as Russia where entire factories have to be transported thousands of kilometers to the place of work to create a unique plant. It took a plant of factories that can be seen even from space. The largest workshop in Russia was built especially for these purposes, where the ceiling height is more than 100 meters, which is approximately the same as a house with more than 30 floors. Can you imagine it? For the first time in Russia, they decided not to build a plant for liquefying the gas on site, but decided to deliver it as a floating platform because its deposits are depleted. Such a plant can be unmoored and delivered to a new deposit. In addition, it is much cheaper and easier to transport a plant by sea than to bury it with great difficulty. Foundations in permafrost. It is problematic to deliver cargo and materials on an industrial scale to these distant northern latitudes for the construction of factories on site. More than 800 Russian enterprises and scientific institutes are working on the construction of the unique plant. Some modern types of equipment were created for the first time in Russia specifically for factories. Previously, there was nothing like this in Russia. Didn't do it. Almost 80,000 workers have been created for the Novotech project, places all over the country. In the workshop itself for the floating plant alone, about 5,000 people work in 3 shifts and without breaks, especially for the giant plant. Euromesh built powerful overhead cranes that lift 300 tons at a time. Just think about these numbers. The concept of a floating LNG plant actually consists of 2 parts. The top one is the liquefaction line, those that are collected in workshop, and a base that will hold the entire structure above the water. A gravity platform for which a dry dock had previously been created, where a Titanic-sized concrete floating platform was built. The concrete sides, as high as a 10-story building, are also impressive. A large floating pontoon is actually obtained. It is also very important that liquefied blue fuel will be loaded directly from the floating plant onto gas carriers. It's faster, more environmentally friendly, and of course cheaper. It is known that Novotech plans to launch the first such plant, and there will be 3 in total by the end of the year, creating a fundamentally new gas production center beyond the Arctic Circle. Russia once again proves that it has no equal in the Arctic. That is, in parallel with these events. Right now, Russian scientists are making another revolution in the energy sector. Have you ever thought that gas can be transported in the form of ordinary solid granules? Like dry ice, yes, you heard right, in the city of Tumen. A priceless discovery was made that could revolutionize the field of gas transportation. Thanks to the development of Russian scientists, the process will become simpler, cheaper, safer, and of course more environmentally friendly. Scientists from the Tumen Institute of the Earth's cryosphere have created a truly revolutionary product with which gas can now be enclosed in granules and transported in this state. This ice-like substance is called gas hydrate. Currently, the production process is as follows. Water is poured into the blender, silicon dioxide is added. A special powder covers the surface of each H2O molecule. The resulting granulate is called dry water. Then it is placed in a reactor. Gas is pumped inside and frozen. This is how gas hydrate is born, gas that is directly needed by the end consumer. This gas is released when the hydrate melts. This occurs due to an increased interfacial surface between water and gas. Dry water is a dispersed system, and gas interacts with ordinary water only on the surface. Next, a chemical reaction occurs that forms a crust, which blocks the gas from getting inside, naturally. For obvious reasons, completely, scientists do not disclose the production technology. I would like to note that the new method has many advantages over traditional methods of storing and transporting liquefied natural gas. Currently, transporting LNG requires high pressure and a temperature of minus 170 degrees, which is obtained through the use of liquid nitrogen. This process is quite labor-intensive, high-tech and explosive, and gas pellets can be moved in a regular refrigerator at a temperature of minus 15 to 20 degrees. In addition, although the hydrate-forming substance is expensive, it can be used several times. This makes the process more environmentally friendly. The absence of hazardous substances and high pressure in the process reduces the risk of explosion of the transported gas, which is also very important. In addition, in solid form, the gas itself becomes non-explosive, which means that existing safety measures can be weakened, which also affects the price. But this presupposes the expansion of import substitution, which is critically important for Russia now. According to scientists from the Earth Cryosphere Institute, in modern technologies for producing LNG, there remains a share of foreign equipment and Russia needs more than 1 year to completely abandon it. Replacing all the equipment involved requires a lot of time and money. The new technology won't even require construction, separate infrastructure. You can adapt an existing base to it, which is very important. Granular gas will be especially in demand in permafrost conditions and other areas where it is difficult to build pipelines. And if we take into account the practice with the Nord Stream and sabotage, when a gas pipeline was blown up, then granular gas is an excellent solution to the problem. It is not a fact that such sabotage will not happen again. Many Russian companies are already interested in this development because it's my own. A unique technology adapted to local conditions is extremely important for the development of the country's economy. Russian scientists, for their part, are today making every effort to improve this technique. Even greater improvement in the speed of obtaining the substance and speedy implementation. Very serious advances are also taking place in the field of 3D printing. Previously, printing with plastic sounded fantastic to all of us, but now it is possible to print parts from stainless steel and titanium alloy. Thus, the city of Nizhny Novgorod became one of the leaders in the development of 3D printing in Russia. Details made with jewelry precision, printed by a 3D printer. In the future, these parts are planned to be used in Rhythm 200 reactor installations. This is truly impressive, despite the sanctions, the colossal pressure that is exerting pressure on Russia from the West, carrying out a special operation in Ukraine. The country is slowly but surely moving forward, and that's all. Friends, Eastwind was with you. Stay healthy and strong. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and write comments. Good luck.